Hey, what's up? Pixelflux here, and today just wanted to make a quick video about my Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Geralt build. Basically, the reason for making this video is because some people called me a little bit crazy because I'm not in the NewGame Plus yet. I've just played the Hearts of the Stone DLC, and I'm level 43, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. I am playing, let's just have a quick look through the options here. So just in case anyone's wondering, I'm playing on Death March, and that's not a setting that I've literally just put there now. And video wise, I am playing on ultra settings, minus the hairworks. But I can even have those on, to be honest. Doesn't really do anything, but just the highest settings. Anyway. So the reason for this video is the Witcher's build, and by the way, you can get to that balcony really easily. Just need to jump there, and just jump there, and that's it. So, you know, no stairs needed. Anyway, so the build itself. So I'm level 43. DPS for the swords, for the silver sword, is 2381, which is quite high. I've seen people with higher levels have way less than that. Say for example, if you're aiming at a tank build, you're gonna put more emphasis into defenses and armor, magic, as opposed to pure damage output, the way I did. And the steel sword is not that much lower, it's just 600 points below, with the 498 armor. Sign intensity at 109, and not a lot of health, but you know, whatever. Basically, I have finished Hearts of Stone, and I have not yet finished the last quest of The Witcher 3. So I'm supposed to meet the guys at the port. We're supposed to go to Skellige and do whatever. I'm pretty much waiting until a week later when I can get my hands on the Blood and Wine DLC. After that, I'm gonna finish, I'm gonna finish the DLC, and then I'm gonna finish the last quest. So, you know, just in case some bullshit happens. And yeah, and then after that, I'm pretty much gonna play NewGame Plus and see what kind of a build I can achieve then. Other than that, I've completed everything, at least to my knowledge. Can't find any more, you know, question marks or whatever. It was especially the biggest pain in the ass when I was sailing around Skellige, and you know, there's so many hidden caches, and especially, you know, around here you're just sailing all the time, and you know, fighting monsters and just trying to get to the loot. I've got a couple of question marks here, you'll notice, but I could not get to that point, and it's an ancient crypt which just kind of has its access blocked, so I'm assuming this is where the last quest is gonna take place, because it's not too far from Geralt, and you know, the last quest is apparently gonna be happening in Skellige. Anyway, so enough of that. Back to the build. So as the game stands now with the Hearts of Stone DLC, this is the best armor that you can get. This is the best Witcher gear, which is the Viper set, and the Viper steel sword and silver sword. Now, one of these swords, don't remember which one, I'm gonna guess silver, but you know, whatever. One of these swords you can buy the recipe for in the auction house, I think. And obviously you can totally skip it, and you can also buy the papers for the Viper gear as well. Unfortunately, the sword, no, actually, sorry, the schematics for the Viper armor you can buy from this lady in the DLC in the auction mission, whereas one of the swords you can only find pre-made in one of the pretty much the last mission of the Hearts of Stone DLC. So if you miss it, you're shit out of luck. Basically, there's no recipe for it that I could find. And the other sword, again, don't remember which one. I think you also find the the plans for. So, you know, if you're not careful during the DLC, you completely miss this set. And it's a good set, you know, it gives you 100% resistance to poisoning, the whole set together. So that's, you know, that's 50, that's 10, that's another 10, and that's 30, so that's 100. So say if I'm fighting something like Arrakis or whatever, you know, they cannot poison me. And the swords are pretty good. I did not find anything better than these as of yet. Obviously, after the new Blood and Wine DLC, there's going to be some more stuff. But as it stands now, these are the best items that I can find. Rivaling this armor closely, and especially for fighting humans, I've actually got an Undwik armor set, which you can buy in Skellige and Kertrold, which has exactly the same armor statistics, defense statistics here, as this Viper set, but it's level 41 as opposed to level 39. It doesn't have poison resistance, it doesn't have as much monster damage resistance, but it does have a lot of resistance to, say, piercing, bludgeoning, slashing, things that you would expect humans to use against you. So, you know, if you're doing a lot of missions where you gotta fight, you know, bandits or whatever, then that's probably gonna be good. But, you know, if you're fighting giants or whatnots, then this set's gonna be superior. So delving into the stats here, I've pretty much invested in Igni here. If I go to my armor here, you'll see that I've got 30% there, 20 there, 20 there, and another 20 there. So that's 90% increase in Igni in just the armor. And that reflects because I've got 100% burning application chance. So it pretty much makes my character a little bit OP against the enemies that, say, are weak to fire, like Arrakis, or whatever the plural is for that. For drowners, for humans, for, you know, pretty much anything that burns. Except of course the elementals, which do not burn, so I just basically use Quen against them and heavy damage and whatnot. You can see the damage stats there. Critical hit chance 25% for light attacks and 15% chance to poison from the silver sword, and 15% chance to stun, and that comes from the Greater Triglav runestones. So for the monsters, I prefer stunning, because if I stun them, then they kind of stand there, and, you know, I just get to kind of mash them. Whereas the steel swords I've actually applied poisoning to. And these swords already had 15% chance of poison, just like the silver one, but adding another 15, that's 30% chance to poison. And then I'll show you later, I've also got a skill, at least used to, before just really shortly, that used to apply additional chance to poison when I'm using oils. And obviously with higher tier oils, it would apply a greater effect, a greater chance to poison. So that was basically my poison sword, so pretty good. So coming back to the stats here, silver sword, same criticals because of the skills, but 30% chance to poison, and that's pretty much it. So crossbow's useless as ever. Resistances, that's obviously from the sets, 100% poison resistance. And I've made my character in a way that when I'm in combat, my stamina regenerates really reasonably quickly. So I can set somebody on fire, and then while they burn, I get my whole stamina regenerated, and, you know, I can cast another sign, I can burn them again. I've actually burned enemies to death, just literally burning them and then waiting for them to burn a little bit and then burning them again, and, you know, they just keep on doing that. So again, I suppose a little bit OP, but, you know, it's a build, it's in the game, so it's not like I'm cheating, and I am playing on Death March, so, you know, a lot of these things are necessary, because, you know, you can pretty much get raped by some lowly wolves. And I've clocked in a ridiculous amount of time here. Right, so skill-wise, I have got the sword skills, and I'm investing heavily into physical damage, as you can see, and I've invested a little bit into sign intensity. So my signs are not poor. They do have a pretty solid boost, but I'm mainly focusing on just pure damage. Now the reason I'm getting 44% here is because just recently, and I've been grinding till level 43 for exactly that skill because of my build. I can only get this at level 43, and what it essentially does is adds 5 to 25% of the mutagen power to the mutagens in the slot. So 5% there means another point. So that's 11 now. 11 multiplied by 4, that's 44. So 11 multiplied by 2, that's 22. So you know, you can get that up to 25% increase, I think. No, sorry, 50% increase. So from 10 to 50. So, you know, that could essentially become 60%, you know, because 40 is base and then 60. So, you know, 60% there, 60% there, 30% there, 60% there. That's not too bad, you know, and all I gotta do is just raise 4 more levels. Or rebuild my character in such a way that I'm investing fewer points into the magic here and the damage, and I can then put more points in there. But you know, I'm gonna play around with it. I don't want to rejiggle my character too much. I like these skills here. I'm using the Griffin School Technique skill as well, which is from that tab there. So basically for every piece of medium armor, which my Griffin armor is, sorry, Griffin armor used to be, and then Wolven armor, and then this current Viper armor, they're all mediums. So for, you know, each piece I get 5% stamina regeneration speed and 5% sign intensity, up to a maximum of plus 20% because there's 4 pieces of armor. So, you know, that's basically my build. And just in case I want to rejiggle something there as well, I've got, let's have a look. So which tab was that in? There we go. So I've got these potions of clearance, which I've bought quite a few. I've probably used 3 already, trying to rebuild my character. You can obviously buy much more because, you know, with that amount of ridiculous money, it's just, you know, a no-brainer. So yeah, if I don't feel happy with my skills, I can always do that, but I'm pretty confident that, you know, my skills are pretty good. And I've not used that potion either. And basically, if I just run to, let's see, which one was that? So I'm pretty sure my house is gonna be just straight there. Nope, it's actually the other way. Oops. Anyway, so I'm just gonna quickly run to my house. Oh, not necessarily house, but I'm gonna run back to Dandelion's Inn, and I'm gonna show you some of the items that I've saved up as well, because, you know, since I'm making this video, might as well. Got some interesting armor choices, and some sets from the quest, some items which people may not necessarily have. So let's start it off on that one. I like to piss people off and that. They stop playing, they stop afraid of me. Anyway, so this is my chest. So I've got quite a lot of interesting stuff here. Obviously the Wolven the Wolven swords, which again I used stun on for the monster one and poison for the steel one. I've got this weird Witcher sword, which I'm assuming is a feline one. So I used bleeding for that one. I've got the Iris sword, which you get from Olgierd from the Hearts of Stone DLC. So that's pretty good, and it's only 1 damage point weaker than my current steel sword, which is, to my knowledge, the best in the game as is now, without delving into NewGame Plus. So that's pretty good, but I just wasn't feeling the skill. The skill is really powerful, but it's a different look to my Witcher gear, and I'm kind of a purist there. So, you know, I was using it for a while, but then I kind of opted in for the Witcher sword. And then we've got the Caretaker Spade, which is essentially a life leecher, which is pretty cool in my opinion, and then I've got some of Fury Sabers and Kaleesias and shit like that. Mastercrafted Arsign set, full, so you know there's different parts there, so pants, boots. Mastercrafted Woven set as well, which I've got there. The Warrior's Jacket, which I find pretty interesting, and I'll show you why in a second. Some, you know, ornate robes from the DLC, some different, you know, executioners and, you know, internal fire armor, some Skellige armor, some, you know, quite a lot of stuff, you know, Nilfgaardian armor. These older folk boots, which are not really that much worse than my current boots, but if I was going for pure Igni power, these would be really good, because they've already got 18% Igni, and then, you know, slap another 20, that's 38. So, you know, that's pretty much what I have, and then I've got a couple of rarer items, like the Bard's Belongings, which you get from one quest, which is not anywhere on the map, you gotta stumble upon it. Some Nilfgaardian insignia, some Ordanian insignia, the Defiers are in, stuff like that. You know, basically just items from quests and such. So if I go back to that piece of armor I said was quite interesting. Let's just go somewhere quieter. It's a beautiful game, by the way. So this here armor is pretty much something that you would remember from the beginning of the game, and it kind of is. If I go to that armor, it's literally the exact same design but with a paint job. So, you know, obviously there's a difference in the defense, but it's exactly the same thing, just a different paint. So that's that. And you know, while I'm at that, I can also show you that Unlit set, which is pretty interesting. It's a heavy armor set as well, so it's not gonna give me the same bonuses as the medium armor does, but then again, I'm, you know, could have invested in the heavy armor skills. So pretty cool there. So that's about that basically, and I suppose one interesting point is that I got to level 43 by hunting Arake or Arakas or whatever they're called. Essentially, in the DLC I found a spot where they respawn, which is between that and that, so somewhere here I think. Or was it somewhere here? Well, I can't quite remember. I think it was probably somewhere here, I think. Yeah, I would probably say here, because I remember that little house being there. So somewhere around there, there's like 2 or 3 giant Arakas that keep spawning every time you meditate. So, you know, you can just literally meditate for 1 hour and they come back and then you can kill them again. So I pretty much, you know, farmed them from level 39 upwards. You know, level 39 to 40 was not bad, really quick, and then level 41 to 2 was reasonable, and then to 43 they were giving me 8 XP points each, which was ridiculous. So you can imagine how many hundreds of them I had to kill to get to level 43. Anyway, that's pretty much about it about this build. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions or whatnot, leave me a comment down below. I do read them all. And if you've got a suggestion for a video, please do let me know as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.